What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead World Beyond. Now, this week is very special because you got 2 episodes airing back to back. So this is going to be the review for episode 9. I have not watched 10 yet, but I will be having that review following immediately after I finish up recording this review. But man, what a crazy episode, to the point where I want to say it's one of my favorite episodes, but there's little issues and things that I just couldn't get over, and I'm going to definitely get into it. But this episode is the deepest cut. We're definitely going to talk about that. But let's start immediately with the after the credit scene here. Now, we know that Leo has been escorted with Will, who we now found out is Felix's boyfriend. And there's always been a question of where are they? What is the whereabouts of them, etc., etc. We can assume that Leo's alive because they need him because he's considered the world's smartest man. But the person who escorted him, well, where are they? And that's Will. And we also found out the story about Will actually stepping up to be the one to escort Leo in place of Felix because he wanted to protect Felix. And, you know, he felt it was better served that Felix stayed at bay with the girls. Now, we see him being chased by the CRM soldiers, and they are definitely out to kill him. Bullets are being fired, and he's on the run. So we know he's alive, and he's being chased. So we know the dynamics of this whole, you know, escorting him to New York thing wasn't just like a safety transaction of some sorts. There's a little bit more to that. So obviously we'll get more to that to come. But he is alive, and he's on the run. So that means he's in the run in New York, which means at some point, he's gonna end up linking back up with Felix and them. Felix and Iris as it stands. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But man, this was a crazy episode. I'm here to tell you all, since this is the 9th episode, my 9th review, everything that I said about Huck and Hope's relationship, just completely throw it in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. First of all, Huck is such a rat, such a snake, and we just seen this entire episode, everything that she's just been doing and plotting to divide them, ultimately to get the asset and Iris alone. And we just seen her just doing all these meticulous things this entire time, and then now it's like all this theory about what if and what if, whatever. Everything leads back to it being Huck doing all of this stuff. So we'll get into that, but how about Hope here? A certified G. She has a plan of her own. First of all, when she deciphered that book and all the code, I was like, what type of math is she doing? I was so confused for a second. I thought she was trying to figure out like the exact coordinates of where their dad was at, but she deciphered the message. And the message of obviously now she knows that yeah, Huck can't be trusted. She's playing both sides of the fence here, and she's gonna take matters into her own hand, as she has Felix's gun, and we're going to see what happens with that. But good for her, because it's kind of weird. Her and her sister got that weird dynamic of like they don't trust each other, but she literally, like, everything that Iris says to Hope, she literally does, like, she takes it into consideration. Whether she shows it or not, it always resonates with her, to the point that immediately when she's away from her, she puts it into play. Like she respects her sister more than she leaves on at face value. Hope is a certified G. I would love at this point now. I usually never wish nobody's death. I would really love for Hope to put a bullet in her for everything that she's done thus far. But so let's get into this episode now. Kind of starting from the top and working our way back down the episode. Now, we know that the group is divided. You have the sisters, you have Huck and Felix together, and then you have Silas, who's nowhere to be found, and then we have Elton looking for Silas. So we see the beginning of this episode, we see that we see that Huck and Elizabeth Kubak, sisters here, having their conversation, etc., etc. We now know that the asset is, in fact, Iris, and she's ready for integration, whatever that may be. I don't know, but doesn't sound good at all. And we, you know, for whatever this was worth, the watch, she wants her to take the watch because that's like supposed to help them remember how they got back together, their dad's watch, how they end up getting back together despite their disagreement. I mean, I think it's just whatever. I don't think that means anything. I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest. Like, I was like, yeah, who cares? Like, at this point. But so we know that they are in Pennsylvania. I had to do the calculations. They're either on Highway 81 or Highway 13. I'm from around this area, so I kind of know the trajectory because they saw the sign saying they were about like 116 miles or something from Syracuse. So I figured, because of the trajectory where they had to come in one or two ways. Either way, they have to be in Pennsylvania. So they made tons of ground thus far in the truck. And it's kind of weird how they made all that travel in car, but Elton radio is still in the proximity of Hux when they got to that point in the episode. But I at first I was gonna say like, there's no way. I mean, they say they searched for Silas and Elton, but I was like, there's no way that they're ever catching up. Like they have put laps on them at this point now with the truck, and you're just thinking like, yeah, there's no way they're going to catch up. So we're going to get like the two groups divided. But now because of the radio being in the same basically vicinity of each other, picking up each other's signals, then you think like, well, there is obviously a hope that they can all get back together at some point. So we'll see. But this entire episode sabotaged everything. She threw the truck off the road. Here's the first thing I didn't understand. When they had that fight with the empties and they were all wrapped in barbed wire, wouldn't even be surprised if she did that herself too. But how the hell did Felix not know what a slice on his Achilles is outside of him scratching up his Achilles on barbed wire? Like, that's a difference. Like a slice and an accidental like cutting back into something, that's two different motions. And he should have known immediately that it was Huck that did this. It wasn't the girls who, for now, 9 episodes, still can't defend themselves. It wasn't them, obviously. But, like, he should have known, like, yo, somebody definitely sliced my ankle. And I did not accidentally do that. And I don't know why he tried to act like he didn't even put it in a question, like, how did that happen? He was like, yeah, I did it, I did it on the barbed wire or some sort, which is BS. I thought he got bit for a second. I mean, that's even more believable than him thinking that he fell back on the barbed wire. But it also was very funny when he tried to jump on top of the bus and they immediately went back to the house. They was just like, yeah, there's no way he's going forward from here. But, going back to Elton. So Elton is he's alive, obviously, as we see, and he has a new persona, a little bit of rage, as we've seen him ripping his mom's book, but then immediately picking up the pages. But look who we find out. Percy is alive and he's hurt, and Elton's doing everything he can to not be his mom. I mean, he feels like his mom should have never left that situation the way he did. She could have did more to help. And he forgives Hope because she was just a kid, which I just thought was just powerful. I mean, this little kid has been through so much emotionally. It's really crazy. But now he does everything he can to protect Percy, to give Percy a chance. And even when Percy was like, leave him, he was like, no. Better yet, let me rephrase that a little bit. Percy wanted him to leave him, and he considered it. But man, when he said no, I straight up popped out of my seat. I was like, yes, that's my boy. I was like, dude, that's how you do it, man. Like, when we had the 4v1, I was like, it's showtime. And I knew, because of the newfound rage that he had, I knew he was going to do something really unique. And I just loved the scene of him taking down the empties of 4v1. That was totally awesome. But, like, he's doing everything he can to not be his mom. And he wanted to give Percy a chance. And it was also really trippy with Percy, with the, like, basically him talking to nothing but an illusion. Because at one point I was about to say, yo, how strong is Elton? He's carrying his bag, he's carrying Sally's bag, and now he's carrying up a body up the hill. Like, this dude he's a strong little boy at this rate. But nonetheless, first of all, I just thought all that stuff was really trippy with Percy talking to him, and he really wasn't talking. So I was definitely confused when that one moment when he got up off the hill and he got up and sat next to him. I was like, is this another trick? And we know they're tricksters, but like, is this a trick? But obviously it was just the illusion of him just talking to him because of, like he said, this is all happening because of the mental pressure and stress that he's dealing with, and rightfully so. This little kid has literally gone through the most of everybody. He's not even Hope or Iris. Like, he's been through the absolute most emotionally, but at least he can defend himself. He 4v1 better than the girls are like, yo, Elton's my favorite character. In every episode, I'm definitely rooting for him. Like, he's my he's my favorite. It's not even a question. But when thinking about Percy being shot now, we all know who this has to be. It's without a doubt Mrs. Sabotage Master herself, Huck. Everything correlates back to Huck with her grand scheme of getting everybody separated, injured, killed, whatever it may be, so that she can deliver the asset. That's everything is all rooted through Huck. But like I said, Elton has a big responsibility now. He's not only, about trying to find solace, but now he has to a caretaker for Percy. He's carrying 2 bats, the protection of himself, trying to keep his own mental health in check. And then you have the rest of the crew that, more and more are they going to realize all the shenanigans that Huck has been up to. So this has been a great episode. Again, I really like this episode as far as storytelling, as far as getting us prepared for the finale. A lot of things were at stake on this episode. There's a few little mishaps and things that I didn't agree with, like, I'm saying, the ankle cutting, the deep cut, shall I say, of his ankle. Like, I just don't see how he didn't know that it was. And maybe next episode he'll be suspicious of it. Who knows? Getting the backstory with his coat, his boyfriend Will, the relationship there, and also that burden as well, because that's left a void in him. That's maybe why he's a little bit mystique in the way how he is, because somebody made a big sacrifice for him. And but anyway, it's so much went on in this episode. I can't wait to get to episode 10. So definitely join me over for my episode 10 review, which I will be posting once I watch episode 10. I'm working on that right after I finish this. But as always, folks, let me know in the comments what you thought about episode 9. I'll catch you over for episode 10 very soon. Thank you for watching.